Apparently I gotta make a, record, cause the boss hat man, Commissar What's-His-Face, said Brick got a talk in a box. Right, Brick talk now. I'm Brick. Big lad, strong lad. What comes from Cadia way? Before it went boom. Don't remember much in a boom. But everyone kept crying and yelling, Cadia stands! So Brick yelled it too. Don't know if it helped, but Brick tried. Boss Hat Man says I was a progenitor. Don't know what that means. Something about being an orphan and learning stuff in the Emperor's school. I weren't good with the reading, or the writing, or the counting past, 4. But I listened real good, and Brick learned 2 important things. 1, Emperor is good. 2, traitors is bad. That's all you really need, innit? Growing up, Brick did lots of lifty jobs. Lot of jobs where folks said, Oi, Brick, move this enormous thumping metal box. And I did. Easy peasy. Brick strong. Brick big. Brick arms big as other troopers' heads. Sometimes 2 heads. And when I joined the soldiers, Astra Militarum, that's the name. Everyone liked having me round, cause I kept the bad shooty bits off them. Brick stands in the front. Brick takes the hits. Brick protects the little lads. But, the most important thing, the Sarge. Sarge Helra. She was the bestest. Smart, brave, tiny but yelled real loud. She taught Brick lots of things like, don't punch the ammo crate, and Brick, that's the enemy, not the rock. And Brick, you can't eat that. On the bad day. The really bad day. Chaos lads came screaming and shooting. Everything boom, boom, boom. Brick tried to be brave. Brick tried to protect, but Brick messed up. Didn't see the shooting bit coming. Would've died. Proper dead. But Sarge pushed me out of the way. And she took the shot for me. Brick remembers her falling. Her saying real soft, live, Brick, make it count. So now Brick gotta make it count. Every day, every fight, every smash. Brick wears her tags on my wrist. Brick never takes them off, even when the bath sergeant yells at me. Brick loyal. Brick always do what Boss Hat Man says, what the Emperor says, what Sarge would have wanted. I know I ain't smart, ain't fast, ain't fancy with words, but Brick's heart big, Brick's fists bigger, and Brick's loyalty biggest of all. This is why Brick fights, why Brick smashes, why Brick stands in the front and bellows like a big ol' angry grox. For the Emperor, for the regiment, for the Sarge. Right then. Boss Hat Man said Brick gotta talk about the other lads and lasses what fights with me. Brick knows lots. Brick watches real good. Even when Brick don't understand what's going on. So, the yelly lady. Oh boy, she always shouting. For the Emperor! Here, for the Emperor! There, for the Emperor! Even when she stub her toe. Brick likes her! She got big faith, bigger than Brick's fists even! She runs faster than the shooty bullets, smashes Chaos lads with that Bernie-looking stick, and never shuts up about holy dis and holy dat. Sometimes Brick thinks, wow, that lady might explode from shouting so much, but she never does, so Brick keeps listening. The faraway boom man. Brick likes him. He don't shout as much. He points his boomstick at faraway bad guys. And boom! They dead. They stop being a problem. Real clever like. Real calm too. Even when Brick steps on his ammo by accident. Oops. He says lots of fancy soldier words. Like flanking and suppression fire. Brick don't know what that means. But when he says, Brick, smash that one! Brick knows exactly what to do. The Skylight fella. Brick watches him real close. Not 'cause Brick's scared, but 'cause sometimes he pops like a meat balloon. And Brick don't want to be standing next to that. He shoots pretty fires from his hands. And sometimes he yells at the sky. And the sky yells back with lightning. He got a weird magic stick too. Brick asked if Brick could hold it once. He said no, really fast. Probably 'cause Brick would break it. Brick breaks lots of things on accident. But when the Psyker points at the bad lads and shouts funny warp words, they all fall down twitching. Brick likes that. The judgy man with the puppy. He's always looking at Brick funny. All squinty-like Brick's doing something wrong, even when Brick's doing nothing. He wears lots of badges, talks fancy laws, goes, "Ogrin, cease this!" and "Ogrin, that is forbidden!" Brick doesn't know what forbidden means, but he nods anyway. So Boss Hat folks, stay happy. Brick likes him for one big reason. He got a pretty puppy. The puppy sits all proper-like, wags its tail, gives Brick the happy eyes. Brick loves the puppy. Brick asked the Arbiter if Brick could pet the puppy. He said no. Brick petted the puppy anyway. Puppy liked it. Judge Man did not. Brick confused, but still happy. The Rat Man. Oh boy, this lad never stops moving. Always running, jumping, crawling through vents. Like a little rat looking for cheese. He talks fast, real fast. Brick understands maybe one word in tree, and that word is usually run. He's sneaky too, real sneaky. Brick once lost him in a hallway. Brick looked away for 1 second, and poof, he was gone. But when the fight starts, he pops out of nowhere, shoots a bad guy in the face, laughs like a crazy goblin, and disappears again. Brick thinks he'd make a good bet if he weren't so loud and stabby. All of them is weird. All of them is loud. All of them is small, except maybe the shouty lady's voice. But they fight good. They stand by Brick. They don't run when Brick yells, "Brick smash!" So Brick likes them. All of them. Even the judgy one. Even the rat one. Brick thinks together. We make a good smash team. For the Emperor. Brick hopes Boss Hat Man likes this record. Brick tried real hard. So, right then. Brick ain't never seen the Emperor. He lives up on Tearaway. Sitting on that big, shiny yellow chair everyone's always shouting about. Huge thing. Glowy. Looks uncomfortable. But if the Emperor sits on it, then it must be comfy, right? Jay says he's a big, fancy god man. Real strong. Real smart. Smarter than Sarge even. And Sarge was real smart. Smarter than Commissar too. But Brick not allowed to say that out loud. Oops, everyone loves the Emperor. Even the shouty zealot lady. Especially the shouty zealot lady. She screams, "For the Emperor!" every 10 seconds. So Brick screams it too, 'cause it feels good in the chest. And makes the bad lads run away sometimes. Brick don't understand all the holy book stuff. Too many words. Not enough pictures. But Boss Hat Man says, the Emperor is good, Ogrin. So Brick goes, oh, good. Brick likes good things. And that's all Brick needs. Brick not clever, but Brick loyal. If the Emperor says smash, Brick smashes. If the Emperor says protect, Brick protects. If the Emperor says stand still, well, Brick tries. Sometimes Brick thinks about meeting the Emperor one day. He'd probably tell Brick he did good, or tell Brick to hit stuff harder. Brick can do that! Brick likes that! Anyway, Brick tired now. Brick yelled lots. Brick likes yelling. Right, Commissar says, turn off the Vox console, now! Brick trying, uh-oh, Brick finger's too big. Brick broke the off button again. Psyker! Oi, Magic Man! Brick needs help turning off the talkie box. You're good with the tiny fiddly bits. Use your sparky hands, or your magic stick, or summon. Brick waiting.